posted, shared, mocked, and memorialized within seconds, which becomes a shadow people can't outrun. Every day, we all open our phones, whether that be to expect entertainment, excitement, or even just a simple distraction from our own lives. But for many, what waits behind the screen isn't a distraction. It's cruelty. According to the Centers for Disease Control's for the CDC, 1 in 6 teens experience cyberbullying. Nicole is one of them. This is her testimony. When I was in 6th grade, at the height of my depression, I struggled immensely with self-care. I didn't have the energy nor confidence to maintain a good physical appearance, and because of that, I became a target. I faced cyberbullying in the form of unconsented photos being taken of me and posted on the internet. This allowed others to judge me further. What some students dismissed as a joke was a nightmare for me. I dreaded going to school in fear of further bullying, to the point where I began skipping classes and became self-conscious about everything I did. The way I walked, the way I ate, and even how I sat at my desk. Yet no matter what I tried, I still hear from friends about how someone had yet again tried to take photos of me. For someone who was already struggling internally, this humiliation served as the final straw. I attempted suicide that summer. Online harassment, as shown, is different from anything previous generations have ever faced. Once, bullying required being physically present. Today, it follows teens through their screens and into their homes. It's relentless, accessible 24/7, and impossible to erase. According to Flannery A. Benucci, a professor from the research department of the University of Connecticut, he found that when teens are bullied online, it leads to sleep deprivation, which can increase suicide ideations. In the past, when you had a bad day at school, you could walk home, walk through your front door, and slam it shut. The world stayed outside, and you had a sanctuary. But today, that same front door, it's glass. And the walls, paper, thin. We tell teens to just delete the app, but how do you delete a digital ghost? When a photo is posted online, it doesn't just sit there. It breathes. It's indexed. It's searched. For teens, the internet isn't just a tool. It's their permanent record personified. A UNICEF report found that bullied teens were more likely to avoid social interaction due to online harassment. This doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, it's only a statistic. But in reality, this just might be the girl who quietly leaves the group chat. The guy who doesn't sit with his friends at lunch anymore. Or the kid who doesn't show up to practice because they're mentally drained. Cyberbullying isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It builds up slowly. A mean comment here, a rumor there, or a screenshot that spreads everywhere. And suddenly, being online doesn't feel so fun anymore. It feels scary. So what do you do when you're scared?
I hide.
Teens do the same. They log off, they hide, and they lose themselves. But that's not the real problem. The problem is that when teens start losing themselves, things get heavy. Loneliness makes every bad thought louder. Makes people feel like they're not wanted. Like nobody would care if they disappeared. That's why this isn't just a red flag. That's why this isn't just a statistic. It's a red flag. It's a sign that teens are facing something bigger than anyone can even comprehend. So what can we do to help? If cyberbullying is leading teens down a path towards suicide, then awareness without action is failing. We've named the problem. Now we have to decide what we're willing to do to prevent future harm. One of the most effective ways to reduce teen suicide rates due to cyberbullying is early intervention. Most do not go from being harassed online to experiencing suicidal ideations overnight. Signs progress over months or even years, like heightened anxiety, changes in sleep, and fear of social interaction. Schools and families need to address these signs and realize that they are not minor issues and should not be pushed aside due to absent parenting. Identifying and addressing these signs early on can help stop teens from facing an emotional spiral. Prevention also requires education that goes beyond be nice online. Teens across the globe need to realize how their comments, posts, messages, replies, etc. can by cruelty. Once teens realize that cyberbullying is a systematic issue rather than a personal failure, they're more likely to seek help rather than internalize blame. Finally, mental health resources must be implemented into schools in resourceful ways. We can do this by adding digital counselors trained in digital trauma, or even just people with first-hand experience, to give teens an insight on the effects of cyberbullying and how it can affect others. Teen suicide due to cyberbullying isn't due to failure resilience. It's due to failure of protection. Teens are not too sensitive. They're navigating environments that were never designed to protect them. When we talk about cyberbullying with empathy, we don't just change conversations, we change outcomes.